Hey everyone, Darren here from the Music Vault. Um, I've got a ton of stuff to show. A few things I've bought in the dollar bin and the delete bin and that. But for the most part, a friend of mine at work, her mom passed away, and she was cleaning out her house. And she said to me, she goes, I have all these albums that I don't want. Do you want them? She says they're all up your alley, classic rock stuff. So I'm like, oh, for sure. Yeah, like totally interested. So I have her collection. Now with her collection, she gave me about 130 or 140 7-inch, like 45s. I was able to keep 80 of them. And then there was stuff in there like this. I've never heard any of that, and I'm not interested in that. So, and then there was this stuff like that. Can you see it? Like Madonna. Like, what do I care about Madonna? George Michael. Couple of these Bay City Rollers. So there's probably, well, I kept 80, so there's probably about 50 that I don't want used. I can't use them anyways. And then there was probably, I want to say 50 or 60 12-inch. Some stuff I had, some stuff I didn't. Some stuff I'm glad I got in there. Some stuff was like this. Now, mind you, she's a girl, so, and she's a little older than I am. So growing up in the 60s and 70s, at 75, she would have been, I think, 10. So this is the stuff that she was listening to. I don't listen to this. So that was going by the wayside. And so there was stuff like that. But then there was stuff like what I got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the video down into, I think, maybe 2 or 3 parts. So right now I'm going to show all the 40 or the 7, the 12-inch albums. I'm just going to show you everything. And I'll let you know the stuff I'm keeping, the stuff I'm not. So, well, you can pretty much tell because the stuff I'm keeping has a protective sleeve, and the stuff I'm giving to my buddy doesn't. So, I'll do these ones first. So, she had this, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This is kind of like a fluff album, Love Beach. I have a copy of it because I paid $1 for it. And I'm going to give it to my buddy because he doesn't have it. Nazareth 2x2. Now these are all probably original press. These are all in great shape, by the way. Like, I cleaned them up, and did I clean this one up? Like that, they're in perfect condition. So I was really stoked. Like, so you know how sometimes you get people's collections and they're like, I don't know what kind of shape they're in, but you're welcome to them. When you hear that, you're like, oh boy, you're in for a treat. So there was that one, Supertramp. And now this one is Famous Last Words. This is in immaculate shape. Even the cover is in really, really very good shape. Supertramp Paris, double live album. Christopher Cross. Now, believe it or not, I already have a copy of this because of the song. Where is it? Ride Like the Wind. That's actually a really good rockin' song. I don't like Christopher Cross. The rest of the album could have been put on a 45, but I understand his music career. Burton Cummings. I think I have 2 copies of this. Burton Cummings, as we all know, one of the singers for the Guess Who. Love Burton Cummings, huge staple in Canada. I already have that, so that's going to my buddy. These are all going to my buddy because I have them in my collection already. U2, another Supertramp. This is Crisis, What Crisis. Then there's this one, Beach Boys. I friggin' hate the Beach Boys. Even if I owned a copy of it, I would still get rid of it. The Doors, Greatest Hits, great album. I was going to keep this as a second copy, but realized it's the exact same copy as the other one, so I was like, why? I'll get rid of it. Boston, anywhere you go, you'll find a Boston record. They're everywhere. Wings, this is Back to the Egg. I was given a copy of this. I don't know if I'm going to keep this copy, because this I think is in probably better shape than my other copy. I might keep that one and give the other one to my buddy. Don't know yet. And Robert Plant. And this one is Pictures at 11. I have this one and I have his other solo album. I can't remember. It's something about moments. But this one's got a sleeve on it, so I haven't decided whether I'm going to give that or not. Anyways, those are the ones that I have. Just enjoying my morning coffee here. So then I'm going to rifle through these pretty quick because there's quite a few. I don't have any classical, really. So she had this, and it was in immaculate shape, so I figured out what the heck. Just a Beethoven record that, I'm like, that'll work. Then there was Bob Seger, Night Moves. I have this one too, actually, but I think it's a different pressing, so I'm going to keep this one. Genesis, I think I have 2 copies of this. This is a Canadian pressing, and I'm not sure if I have a Canadian pressing. I still have to go through some of them to see which ones I actually have. And I know this one, this is Split Ends, Watana. This came out, and there's a couple of covers, so I don't know if this is a different cover. I haven't really looked to see which cover I have. John Lennon collection. Not John Lennon fan, but it's John Lennon, and it'll look cool in the collection, I guess. Bruce Springsteen. Didn't have this one. And this one's Darkness on the Edge of Town. Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. Mint condition. I was really impressed. There's that Clarence Clemens. Passed away a couple years ago. The River. Now I have a copy of this. I think I paid $2 for it. It's a double or triple album. I can't remember. Side 4. So it's a 2 album set. 2 LP or whatever. Here, just give me a second here to clean this up so I can put some of these. John Lennon, Double Fantasy. And I hate that song, Imagine. Hate it. Well, I hate the opening line. Bee Gees, why not? What the heck? Kenny Rogers, R.I.P. buddy. This is the best of. And this has got a couple of good songs on it. But I'm not into country. But I figured, you know what? Why throw it away? Charlie Rich, another country guy. Again, not into country. I haven't listened to this. I have a couple of country records, but I'm not a huge country guy at all. And if I'm going to listen to country, it's going to be all the older stuff. All this new stuff like, I don't know, Toby Keith and all that kind of crap. No, I'm not interested in that. But, you know, like Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard. No, I can listen to that and get into it. To me, that's country. The other stuff is more like rock light. I don't know. Nat King Cole. I'm kind of on the fence about this. I know my best friend Chris, he really likes this kind of stuff. He's got a broader perspective of music. The fence is still out on this. I might keep it just to say, you know, I have a copy of kind of like that style of music, but do I need it? No. Willie Nelson, this is always You're Always on My Mind. It's Willie Nelson. Everybody knows who Willie is. Now we're going to get into the stuff that I don't have that I'm going to keep. REO Speedwagon. This is a 2 LP set. It is a decade of rock and roll from 1970 to 1980. So yeah, I'll keep those. And see, now this is the stuff actually I don't have. Well, I have a copy of this. Sorry, Rainbow. This is Bent Out of Shape, and this is a different version than my other version that I have, so I will keep it. Different pressing. Pink Floyd. I want to say it's a different pressing, but I'm not 100%. Even if it's not, I'm still going to keep it because it's Pink Floyd. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I didn't have a copy of this. Everybody loves Rocky. Good for a laugh. It's a good movie too. I saw the movie a couple of times. Of course, I'm going to keep this. Every copy of Rush, any Rush album I get, I will keep. Probably have the same pressing, but I don't care. I collect Rush. Same with Led Zeppelin. This is Zeppelin 4. This is in perfect condition. I will keep that. Phil Collins, Face Value. This has Air in the Air Tonight. Everybody knows that song. It's a great tune. Genesis Duke. Same thing. Don't have this. Now I do. Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Definitely going to keep that. That means I have 2 Beatles records now. And I have Beatles, there was a 45 in there too. Elton John, The Simple Man. I'm running out of spots to put this. Billy Joel, The Stranger. My daughter really likes this record. I'll be keeping this. This has Vienna, Only the Good Die Young, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I like Billy Joel. His early stuff is really good. Piano Man and stuff like that. Santana. No, I don't even... Zebop. Name of this record. This one came out in the 80s, I think. 81. AC/DC. I collect this album. I have, I think, between LP, CD, and cassette, I think with this one, I think this makes like 10 or 11 copies of this record. It's just something about this record I just love. I remember, quick story, I remember when I was a kid, I might have been 11 or 12, because this record came out in 1980. I remember going to my cousin's house, and they had it on cassette, I think, or vinyl, one of the two, and they played it for me, and I was like, instantly, this album was a staple for me. And I had to get it. So I asked them to make a copy of it for me. And they go, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And I left, and I completely forgot about it. My dad come home one day from my aunt's house and said, here, Ernie made you this. And it was on an old beat-up cassette. Like he taped over it. Like, you buy a cassette, you have it on already taped, and then he taped over something that he had already taped on there. And man, I wore that tape out. Like, literally I snapped the tape in half. I love that record. That is the quintessential AC/DC album. As far as I'm concerned, they could have no other album in their catalog except for one, and then that would be it. REO Speedwagon, High Fidelity. I have an old beat-up copy of this. Now I got a mint copy of this. Now this is where I was really happy, because I don't have a copy of that. That's The Doors. And this is, this has Break On Through, Light My Fire, Backdoor Man, in the end. Like three to me, three of the most pivotal Doors songs ever. And then of course she had Soft Parade, which I was really stoked to get. Now I already cataloged all these on Discogs, and I think between these two records, they're almost $100 each for these two records. So I was quite happy getting them, because now I don't have to go and buy them, because to get mint copies like that, you're paying probably those prices. Couple of soundtracks. I already have this, believe it or not. I had it when I was a kid, but this is an absolute mint copy with the record sleeves and everything. My copy is just really beat up, but this is an actual mint copy. So, and this is actually a really good movie. I really like Grease, so I figured, you know what the heck. Steve Winwood, apparently this is a good record, or no, apparently it's not his strongest record. I was talking to a guy on Facebook about it, and he liked it, but it wasn't his strongest. I'll keep it anyways. And then, I don't collect soundtracks, but I like John Travolta. I don't mind the Bee Gees, their early stuff, the disco stuff. I actually don't mind it. But I figured, you know what the heck. I'll keep it anyways. And then, coming up to the end, McLean and McLean. I haven't decided whether I want to keep this yet, because I don't like comedy records. And that's exactly what this is. Two Canadian guys. This is on the El Macambo Records. If I'm thinking of the proper one, El Macambo was a bar in Toronto that a lot of famous bands, Rush, Max Webster, Gatto, Teenage Head, any band that was any band that played in Toronto played at the El Macambo. So I haven't decided whether I want to keep that yet or not, because again, I'm not into comedy records. And I think the rest of these are actually doubles. Yeah. Hot Shots. I think this is the gatefold version. I have this already, and I have the single sleeve version. So I don't know if I'm gonna. And I have a copy of this Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. Same version, same copy. So I don't know. I'll probably keep it. I don't know yet. So that is the LP version of the collection grab that I got. Now, she said that her sister's got a pile of records that she's probably going to get rid of, and her sister told me that. She goes, I'm welcome to them. So I said to my friend, I says, don't forget, let your sister know about the records. If she wants to get rid of them, she finds them, wants to get rid of them, give me a call. Okay, so I'm breaking it down. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to do the 45s. I won't do all the 45s because there's 80 of them in there, but I'll do all I have Aerosmith and Queen, and I'll do the picture sleeves and just randomly grab some stuff out of there. And then I'll do what I've bought in the last little while. I think there's one record. I'll do the record now, because that way I can put it away. This is Street Hits, and this has Triumph, Loverboy, Ted Nugent, Gatto, Straight Lines, Harlequin, Queen City Kids, Rough Trade, Judas Priest, and Ozzy Osbourne on this. And you can see the songs. I picked this up for $3, still sealed at my favorite record shop, and I couldn't believe it. I bought it because of the Judas Priest, Ozzy, and Rough Trade. Harlequin, all of it really. But Queen City Kids, that is a great song. And Scott, when I showed Scott, he pointed out to me, 50% of this record is Canadian. Triumph, Loverboy, Gatto, Straight Lines, Harlequin, Queen City Kids, and Rough Trade. Those are all Canadian bands. Ozzy, Judas Priest, and Ted Nugent. So there's only 3 out of the 10 that are. So 70% of this album is Canadian bands. So that was pretty cool. I didn't even realize that. So okay, so that is that's my video. You guys take care, and I'll see you next video, which will be probably relatively soon. Cheers.